Hey, did you know that letting your baby suck their fingers could actually be a secret superpower for their growth and yours? Yeah, I'm dead serious. Before you yank those tiny hands out of their mouth with a grimace, stick with me. I've seen the worried looks, the whispered judgments at the playground, and I've felt that pang of doubt myself. But what if everything you've been told about this habit is missing the bigger picture? Let's unravel this together. So you might be thinking, wait, isn't finger sucking just a one-way ticket to crooked teeth or a germ fest waiting to happen? I get it. That's the gut reaction. I've had other parents side-eye me at the park, practically begging me to intervene as my little one happily chomped on their hand. One mom even leaned in, whispering, "Aren't you worried about her teeth?" Like I was committing some parenting felony. And yeah, the concern isn't baseless. If a child keeps sucking past age 4, there's a real chance it could mess with their jaw alignment or push teeth out of whack, potentially leading to pricey braces down the road. And germs? Sure, those tiny fingers touch everything. Sandbox grit, sticky railings, and then go straight to their mouth. It's enough to make any parent squirm. But here's the twist. What if these risks are just a tiny footnote compared to the jaw-dropping benefits? What if this habit isn't a problem to fix, but a gift to embrace? Let's dig deeper into why I stopped stressing and started celebrating those slobbery little fingers. All right, let's break this down with some real talk and hard facts. First off, finger sucking isn't some rare quirk. It's a natural instinct for most babies, kicking in as early as 2 months. It's their built-in comfort tool, like a tiny security blanket they carry everywhere. But beyond just soothing, it's doing some serious heavy lifting for their development. Think about the big milestone of starting solid foods, around 6 months, when you're mashing up peas and praying they don't spit it everywhere. Here's where finger sucking plays hero. Babies are born with a gag reflex right at the front of their mouth, super sensitive, designed to protect them from choking. That's why early on, they might gag on a bottle, a nipple, or even their own hand. But every time they suck on those fingers, they're nudging that reflex backward, bit by bit, making it less twitchy. I've watched this with my own kid. First, they'd gag just poking a finger in. Then after weeks of persistent sucking, they could handle more without that dramatic cough. Why does this matter? Because if that reflex stays up front, every spoonful of puree would trigger a spit-out storm. Mealtimes would be a battlefield. But with the reflex moved back, they can chew and swallow solids without drama. It's not just me saying this. Pediatric studies back it up. The American Academy of Pediatrics notes that oral exploration, like finger sucking, is key to desensitizing the mouth for food transitions. And that's not all. This habit builds tongue control, which is clutch for eating. Picture this. Your baby pops a finger in. It brushes the side of their tongue, and instinctively, that tongue shifts to explore. At first, it's just a reflex. But over weeks, it turns into skill. I've seen it firsthand. My little ones started moving their tongue side to side while sucking, and by the time we hit solids, they could shuffle food from the center of their mouth to the side to chew, then back to swallow. It's like they'd been training for months without me even noticing. Without this practice, food just sits there, and you're stuck with a kid who can't manage a bite. Plus, sucking exposes them to textures, tastes, even temperatures. Think cold fingers after touching a chilly stroller handle. Their brain logs these sensations, so when a spoon of lumpy oatmeal hits, they're less likely to freak out. I remember the first time I gave my kid a chunk of soft banana. They didn't flinch, just gummed it down. Compare that to a friend's baby who never mouthed anything. Every new food was a meltdown. The data's clear too. A 2016 study in the Journal of Pediatrics found that early oral sensory exposure cuts down on picky eating later. So while you're wiping drool off your shirt, know this: your baby's building a foundation for stress-free dinners. Now let's tackle the big worries head-on: teeth and germs, because I know they're nagging at you. On teeth, yeah, long-term sucking past age 4 can nudge teeth out of line or reshape the jaw. The American Dental Association flags that prolonged habits might lead to overbites or gaps, sometimes needing orthodontic work costing thousands. But here's the kicker: most kids, about 80% per pediatric stats, drop the habit naturally between 2 and 4. Long before permanent teeth even show up. I've seen it with mine. By 3, the urge just faded as they found other comforts, like a stuffed bear. If it lingers past 4, sure, we can step in with gentle nudges or a chat with a dentist. But stopping them now, at 6 months or a year, it's like fixing a bridge that ain't even built yet. As for germs, I hear you. Those hands are tiny petri dishes. I've cringed watching mine smear playground dirt, then suck away. But hold up, exposure isn't always the enemy. A study by Lynch, Sears, and Hancock's, published in Pediatrics, tracked kids who sucked thumbs or bit nails and found they had lower allergy rates later. Why? Early germ exposure builds immunity, prepping their system to fight off bigger threats. I've noticed my kid, who's been sucking since day 1, rarely catches the bugs circling daycare, while others are down with every sniffle. So instead of panicking, I see those grubby fingers as a weird kind of vaccine. The risks are there, but they're not the full story. Let's flip the script to what's really being gained. Okay, now let's zoom in on something that'll blow your mind. Finger sucking isn't just prepping your baby for food. It's a lifeline for your sanity in that chaotic first year. Babies cry a lot. You know those nights when nothing works and you're pacing at 2 a.m. with a screaming bundle? Sucking is their off switch. It's not just cute. It's science. When they suck, their heart rate drops, blood pressure eases, and stress hormones tank. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows this calming effect is so potent that doctors often suggest sucking on a finger pacifier or during a quick feed, during shots or blood draws to dull the pain. I've been there, in a sterile exam room, watching my baby wail as a needle loomed, only to quiet down the second they got their fingers in. It's magic. And here's why it beats a pacifier, especially early on. Until about 7 months, they can't grab that pacifier and pop it back in when it falls. Every drop means a cry for help, and you trudging over to fix it. I've had nights where I played pacifier retriever a dozen times, bleary-eyed and cursing. But fingers, by 2 months, most babies can find their own hand and self-soothe. I remember the first time mine did it. Middle of the night. A whimper, then silence as they found their thumb. I nearly wept with relief. That self-soothing cuts crying time, giving you moments of peace to, I don't know, drink a coffee while it's still hot. And during teething, oh, that hellish phase around 4 to 7 months when gums ache and fussiness peaks, sucking applies natural pressure to soothe the pain. I've watched mine gnaw their hand like it's a lifeline while drool pooled everywhere, way before they could grip a teething toy. Compare that to fumbling with gels or toys they can't even hold yet. It's not just help for them. It's a break for you. A 2020 survey by the American Academy of Pediatrics found that self-soothing behaviors like sucking correlate with better sleep patterns for infants and parents. So, while you're dodging judgmental stares for letting this habit, know you're actually gifting both of you a calmer ride through those early storms. Now, let's lighten this up with a little chuckle and a heart tug. Because parenting ain't all science and stress. It's messy and kinda hilarious too. Picture this. Teething hits. Your baby's gums are screaming, and they're turning into a tiny gremlin, wailing over nothing. You've got a fancy teething ring, some overpriced gel, maybe a chilled spoon you saw on some mommy blog. But what do they want? Their own dang fingers chomping down like they've discovered the Holy Grail. I've been there, laughing through exhaustion as mine ignored every gadget I bought and just went to town on their hand, drool dripping like a faucet. It's almost comical. Here I am, shelling out bucks for solutions, and their built-in fix is free, always on hand, pun intended. But it's more than funny. It's a quiet kind of beautiful. There's something raw and real about watching them figure out how to comfort themselves. Those tiny fingers finding just the right spot to press, while their teary eyes finally soften. I remember one rough day, after hours of crankiness, seeing that little hand go in and the fussing just stop. It was like they were telling me, "I've got this. Chill." And in that moment, amidst the spit-up stains and scattered toys, I felt this rush of awe at how resilient they are, how they're already learning to handle their own pain. It's not just about teething relief. It's a glimpse of their strength, their instinct to survive the hard stuff. So next time someone wrinkles their nose at the sight of those soggy fingers, I just smile. Because I know it's not a bad habit. It's a tiny triumph. And honestly, in the chaos of parenting, I'll take every win, no matter how slobbered. So here's the bottom line. Letting your baby suck their fingers isn't something to fight. It's something to lean into. It's not just a quirk. It's a tool that preps them for solids, builds their immunity, soothes their stress, and eases their load in those brutal early years. Sure, keep an eye out if it stretches past age 4. But for now, ditch the worry and let those little hands do their work. You're not failing by allowing it. You're giving them a head start. If you found this helpful and want more real talk tips to navigate parenting's wild ride, remember to like, subscribe, and share. These are the fuel that keeps me chatting with y'all. And hey, I've got to warn ya. Videos like this can vanish due to platform quirks, so don't miss out. Oh, and I'm dying to know, what's the quirkiest way your little one comforts themselves? Drop it in the comments. I'm all ears for a good story.